Yeah.
Okay, we're all still here. Okay, I didn't kick you out.
Are in. Welcome, welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Ruben,
I
throw in the
told
chat
you to
where you're
finish
logging in
the-
from, guys.
Hello from Dallas, Texas.
Hello from Prescott, Arizona.
Hello from Thornton, Colorado.
Sunny SoCal, baby.
We got Rocky Mountain, North Carolina, Winter Springs, Florida, Reno, Nevada, Edmonton, Canada.
Canada's in the house. Good.
Yeah. Ruben, let's go, Chase.
I like Ruben on calls because he's always so good at
He's our hype man.
comments.
So hype, yeah.
So good. Makes us feel so good. Especially when we can't hear anybody or see their faces.
Yeah. We got I'm Eclair, Wisconsin, Bellingham, Washington.
Ruben, it's been nice. It's been a little hot, but now it's cooling off a little bit. It's like, what is it, 80 today?
Tequila, I love it. You're in the car for the first part, but not missing it.
Tina, my girl, Chicago.
Our number one spokesperson right now.
She really is.
Really is. All
Chicago,
right.
excellent. All right, well, I'm pumped for this. Melania, you want to start us off?
Yeah. Well, welcome everyone. In case you missed what the main attraction is, we are here to talk about Viktor AI. And if you haven't heard about it before, well, that's what we're here for. And if you have, we hope you also share what you've been building. But we're excited to have you here if it's your first time or your 10th time here in Real Estate Collective. By registering and RSVPing for this event, you are now in this community, whether you wanted to be a part of it or not. It's called Real Estate Collective. We are a community built by operators and operators for operators, not. Okay, anyway. Everything we do is focused on giving you systems, automations, and tools that you can put in your business right now. If you are not already a pro member, now is the time to check it out. You'll get access to this replay by being a pro member, access to our Ask and Share space, and all other replays of other previous webinars we've been doing. The REC bot that is trained on all of our replays, including this one that it'll be trained on, our full prompt library, which include all Viktor AI use cases, and the prompt builder. So you can use code WELCOME for 1 month free. It looks like Chase already pinned in the chat and spotlighted. That's what you see the big red thing is to the right of us with the link to check out, and just use WELCOME at the checkout. I did want to share screen. I merged those two words together just to highlight a post from the Ask and Share space from Julia O'Buckley. She asked an amazing question in the group about how people are handling listing reels for those of you who have teams, and how people are managing that payout structure. And what's really cool about the Ask and Share space within Circle is it actually creates an AI summary of all of the comments for busy folks like me and everyone here who don't have time to read all of the comments, even though they are all wonderfully amazing. You can just read the summary of what the general consensus was of what people do whenever answers are posted like that. So, as mentioned, today we are talking about a platform called Viktor. Viktor, which I'll put in the chat now, if you want to get it. You can do it for free and get started. So,
but before you get it started,
I'm sorry. Yes, don't download it. I'm sorry. Yes, don't download it. We have instructions. Just save it. Don't download it yet, because there are a lot of bad things that happen. Not bad things. Just things you want to prevent it from doing before you download it. Okay.
It has a mind of its own.
Just pin it and bookmark it for now.
Yep.
Viktor plugs into Slack, and you chat with it like a real person.
And anybody could do it. It's easy.
Anybody can do it.
So easy.
Ruben.
It's actually kind of too easy because you turn it on and then all of a sudden it's chatting with your entire Slack organization. So
And it does a bunch of stuff, without you telling it.
these are the types of things we're going to talk about today.
Well, I'll share some stuff later, obviously, but I had done something around the credit usage, and we'll share more of it later. But it's so simple because Shay and Jeff were like, "Oh my God, what'd you do? What was the prompt you used to fix it or whatever?" And I literally said to audit yourself to fix the problem, and and there's no prompt, so it's super, super, super simple.
It's ridiculous for that reason.
And yes, please, when we get to that point, I blew through 50,000 credits in one day, so don't go crazy. Like don't go crazy.
2 days.
You could really go crazy. So
yes, so don't download it yet. And I had a thought, and then I lost it because everyone was saying wonderful things. Oh, so there's been a lot of hype around like Clawbot. So you don't need to buy a Mac Mini and worry about that. You don't need Telegram for Manus. You don't need a separate machine for this. You do need to put in some guardrails for security, which we'll talk about later. The first part of this is we're going to show you all the cool things we've personally been using Viktor for. If you also have cool things to share, we would also love for you to share. And I think we have the ability to add you to like unmute and share screen if you'd like to. And then we're happy to walk you through in part 2 of this, walk you through downloading it, putting in the proper guardrails so you don't make the same mistakes we did of blowing through credits. My team was like trolling it and burning through credits, like call me. It was my husband was like, "What's my favorite flavor of ice cream?" I'm like, "You're wasting credits on this. Is ridiculous." So don't make the same mistakes we did. But with that said, I think Lisa, you wanted to share your use cases and what you've been doing for. So take it away.
Can I just add one thing before Lisa gets started? So I have a friend who wanted to play around with it, but he doesn't have a Slack channel or like a Slack environment. And he's a consultant and works with people in Follow Boss. And so I was like, hey, just get a free Slack channel for yourself, connect Viktor and just start chatting with it. And like, you'll get really far as to like what you could do, how many things it could automate for you and the systems that you can connect to it. It has 3,000 API connections. So that worked. And he's still on the free account using it. So just so you know, you don't have to be like a super Slack user to be able to use it. It just happens to be the interface, which is really easy to use and really user friendly.
Yeah.
Good tip.
It's dope.
Yep. So, all right, let's dive into it. I'm sure you want the meat and potatoes and stuff. So, actually, it was almost the same thing. I was not using Slack for a long period of time. I am actually a very big Slack hater. And so I have decided to try to move everything over to Google Chat for many months and stuff. So anyways, I had to reactivate it. And I wanted to see what I could do with Viktor. So I think I found this because Wade from the Follow Boss group was telling me that he was doing cool things with it. And I'm like, what is this thing? Then I started, of course, showing up my Facebook ads and stuff. And I was like, what is this?
Same.
So, yeah. And so I was telling the group, I'm like, guys, you got to really try this Viktor. Like it had replaced a lot of what I was asking my executive assistant to do. And they were always just pulling the wrong information. We have lots of spreadsheets. Y'all know I'm an Airtable airhead. So I love using Airtable to pull all my Follow Boss data. I pull all my open to close data. If you don't know, by nature, I'm like a transaction coordinator. I'm a TC queen. And so I like data. I like all those points, especially for like, your deals and stuff. But there was never like an efficient way for me to do that in Follow Boss. So this is my use case. I meet with my brokers and agents once a week. I need to give them reports on what I'm doing, what deals and stuff. So this is kind of the webinar version. You can't see like all my information, but this is basically what it does. I tell it, hey, go in. I'm using SkySlope for my compliance. I'm using open and close for my transaction management. I'm using Follow Boss for my phone calls, my texts with my agents, right? And then look at my Google Calendar. I want to know what I'm doing weekly for this broker, and I want to give them an overall report, right? So this is my weekly report that it does for me now. It kind of gives you a breakdown. It'll tell my pending pipeline. I have 35 in active files. I've got 14 million in the pipeline. Then I've got, this just gives me more information. I can take a look, Morgan Thompson, it's got 607, River Road and things like that. Then I need to know like how many are closing this month, right? So I'm keeping track. There's 3 closing, new files open this week, right? I've got 23. So I was looking at all of this and that was pretty cool, right? So it saved me lots of time from having to like put all these reports together and figure out what I needed it to show me. It's living inside my Slack, so it's nothing like difficult, right? I just needed it to like tell me what I needed to put together for my broker. So that's number one. So all I did was just tell it, hey, connect my SkySlope. Here's my API key and things like that. I'm not going to show it all to you so you don't steal my API, but that's what I was doing. Other things that I was asking it for, it would also tell me, hey, I'm prepping for a virtual assistant interview. I got 4 this week. It looked at my calendar. It asked me, hey, these are the things you should be asking it, right? It also went in and looked into their background. It looked for a LinkedIn account. It looked for a Facebook account, right? It did all those things for me without me asking it. So it's pretty cool. It just automatically kind of tells you like ahead of time. I know the founders on this group, like they don't like that because you burn through your credits like no tomorrow. Like literally it's like drinking water for me. But it saved me so much time that it's okay. I was able to replace some of my VA things that I do. I'm trying to figure out where is that one. Here, this was pretty cool. It actually looked through my relationship history with Jeff. I don't know why. I think I was on a call. Oh, I was on a call with Elena and Jeff. So what it did is it went all the way back in my Follow Boss account, see the last time me and Elena and Jeff met with each other, and it literally gave me my entire relationship timeline. Do I need this? No, but it was pretty cool to see this pop up, and it pulled it all from my Follow Boss communication. So if you have like a client from like 10 years ago, and you just want to see your timeline of what in the world that they transacted with you, you could ask it to do that. Is it important? I don't think so, but I thought that was pretty cool that we could do that. I'm trying to show you my actual like Tina, I know you're on this call, and I think I showed you this as well, but it actually preps me for your meetings that we meet with once a week. So this is my performance dashboard for my broker. So this tells me I've got 40 closed files. I've got 12 in the pipeline. I've had over 1,000 phone calls with them, 5,000 text messages, 62 meetings, right? Breaks it down by my team members, who's handling what. And then it tells me like what are our estimated closings, users that we've onboarded, how many locations we have, how many sales pipeline, and it breaks it down by month. So again, this gives me a really good snapshot for my operations. And it also tells me like how many like meetings I had. Here, the number of investment of time. I've got 62 hours of meetings with them so far. And this is how many meetings I have per month. So again, it gives me just a really good breakdown of everything that's happening with my broker. And I don't have to put this together. Now, it didn't get my logo and branding correct, but I can tell it, hey, go to my Google Drive, find my brand logo, match the colors and stick it on there. And then I can email this report to my broker. So that was really fast. I want to pause for any questions.
Whoa.
I don't even know what you're saying right now.
That is amazing. And you said that Kate, Victor actually created the dashboard, right? Like you didn't give it anything other than a prompt to do so.
Yep. All I did was just, actually, I didn't even give this a prompt. It just said, hey, I noticed that you're meeting with your broker once a week. Would you like me to prepare for it? And it literally created my own like performance dashboard so I can be prepared for my meetings and share it with them.
Wow.
So good.
Is this dashboard like essentially a PDF, and then does it just update it weekly for you, or what does that look like?
It's a PDF, so it updates weekly for me. But let me show you also something really cool, because I was actually, if y'all are okay, well, I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to share with you this dashboard I created for our real estate collective. So I was trying to track how many people were showing up in our circle community, right? And we're getting that through Victor. We're getting that every week. They're telling us like, hey, how many new people have signed up, things like that. I am a more of a visual person as I get older now. So I need to see everything in color and on dashboard. Literally, Victor created this dashboard for me. So I'm not going to get into all the nitty gritty, but it tells me all. So it went through.
PDFs. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. So level, and it went through our circle and it looked at all the membership data, and now it just gives me this. And this is a live working dashboard. Like I'm talking about, like there's a back end that is attached to this, and this is updated live. So I can see the circle and go high level like immediately.
And to piggyback off Kate, Kate, you're provide this to your team lead weekly. This is it. What Lisa just showed is what I have dispersed to each one of our team leads for the agents that are reporting to them in a breakdown of what they've done each week. And now when they meet with me on a Monday, I'm able to say, I know you got it. Let's review how the agents are doing, where they are with their goals. Like you can get really granular. At least I didn't even know about the dashboard piece. So that dashboard piece is fire. That's sick. Like now you can have these little mini dashboards being able to push through. And the cool thing is you're able to send it over directly to, like it can DM individually. Like Lisa, you have 4 appointments this week. Here's what you need to do. It can literally go right into the DM and communicate with them. The back end requires you to connect to all of them.
Yeah, so Gina, I'm responding. So yeah, it's whatever your sources of truth are. So for me, I'm pulling this from SkySlope, my compliance management, because that's where I manage my deals. Then I'm pulling from my open to close, which is my transaction management. For most agents and brokers, like for people on this phone call, you're probably going to want to pull from your CRM. So that's going to be Follow Boss, High Level. If you're using, I don't know what other CRMs are out there. I haven't tried, but as long as it has an API connection, like all you have to do, like Victor will tell you even how to go get it and fetch it. You just connect it almost like what we call like an MCP. So you connect it to Victor and give it access, and it'll just do the thing. One-time connection, and you can just have it like run regularly. Now, Victor, I will say, is a little bit aggressive, and it will try to burn through the credits. I think that's purposeful, very smart of the company.
You want your money.
It is going to burn through your money. So please tell it, I only want this once a week on Fridays, or it will run 3 times a day. And then like every day you're going to have to recharge like $50. So just watch your credits and stuff. And I think somebody on this group will also show you, or I can actually show you how you can go to your settings and change that. But yeah, I think we did that for this group, and what we told it was, hey, only appear whenever I mention you. Don't be smart and try to do other things. But then you also lose some of those automations. Like I like that Victor actually tells me what it could possibly do to help me on my day-to-day. What did you initially get it to start monitoring your stuff so it can make that suggestions? Did you prompt it to do that? I didn't. The moment like you connect your Victor, it will automatically ask you what you want to connect. So when I first started, I connected Notion. I connected Follow Box because that was the most interesting one for me. I wanted to try it out for that purpose. And then I kept looking through the list of integrations. So I literally spent my first like 30 minutes with Victor connecting everything in his mama to Victor. Over time, it got smarter because it was asking me where I was getting my information and where it want me to pull from. And so then I would go into more higher level stuff like, oh, I can do Circle, it can do high level, and it can do some custom apps that I have built out with my dev team. And so as long as I have an API, I can just say, Victor, see what you can pull using this API, and then let me know what you can create.
Yeah. Now, before we continue, I will say that you'll have to start getting smart. You'll be forced to start getting smart really quickly with what you do and don't let Victor do, because yes, it can do a lot and it's really cool and it's fun. It's really addicting. But when I first started using it, I was like, let me see if it can do everything my virtual assistant's doing so that my virtual assistant can do all of these other things. My goal wasn't to say so I can fire him, but it was like, I have this backlog of 100 other things that I need him to do. And so it was like, yes, I can do this and I can do this. And so I was doing like one a day. I was like, Lisa was like, go. And I was like, I'm going to dip my toe in. And so I was like, okay, I added one thing today. And then 2 days later, I added another thing. And it was like, it was doing, my VA got like tasks every day to do. And so it was like, okay, now I'm doing this every day. Now I'm doing this every day. I was like, sweet, it's doing it. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, this is costing more than my virtual assistant. No, this does not make sense. So whenever you're thinking about asking Victor to do things, at some point you have to weigh, okay, does this actually make more sense for a person to do, for Victor to do, for Claude to do, or for a computer programmer to do.
But I love that it gives you $100 to play around at the beginning.
Yes.
Like every new account gets that $100, so that just like Elena is saying, you can like dial it, you can like have some fun, and then you have to like reel it back and be like, okay, what makes sense?
Yep.
Shay, I think you're up next.
Okay, I am ready. So, all right. So you guys there were some questions about kind of like getting started with Victor. And I went back and found my exact first message from him when I connected him to Slack, and back on the whole like connecting to Slack thing. So I was just playing around one day. People were talking about Victor. I'm like, gosh, this looks so cool. I'm going to like get going on launching him and like figuring out what he can do. I thought when I connected him to Slack that it would be like a private conversation between me and him. And when I invited him to my Slack organization, he basically joined I think that there's documentation on this too. And I saw a message about it and I was like, no, I'm not going to connect to Slack right away because I don't know which channels I want to add him to. But whatever I clicked was like a hard launch into our Slack. So all of a sudden I went into a staff meeting and my team was like, oh, hey, yeah, like that Victor tool is so cool. We've been chatting with him today. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And he had joined all the channels, introduced himself, very overeager. So if you do connect it, I would recommend just making sure that you right away prompt him, like, please do not join any channel but this one. Please do not introduce yourself in any public channel until I ask you to. At mention, only respond if you're at mentioned. Those would be like a few quick prompts that you could give him right when you launch it, if you are launching him into a big Slack community. So here's my first communication with him. He just introduced himself and like immediately here was a few things like he could gain the context quickly that I was in real estate. And he, said, here's some things I can do for you. At mentioned, pulled the latest listing documents from Google Drive and summarized the key property details for our team. Draft a market update email for Prescott area clients, highlighting recent trends and new listings. So for those of you who don't know me, I run a real estate team in Prescott, Arizona. I'm the COO. And literally the week that we launched this, I was really trying to figure out how to consolidate some of our reporting. A lot of the same stuff that Lisa was doing. We run all of our team operations really through Follow Up Boss and have a ton of data in there. And there's some good reports in Follow Up Boss, but our team was spending a lot of time just like collecting that data, putting it in a place where we could see it that's like really useful. And so the first project that I jumped in with Victor on is management reporting. So I just picked a random team to recreate some of this stuff. And so it's not exactly my team, but we want to.
Sorry to interrupt you. Do you mind like zooming in? I think you can, just like the 3 dots in the top right corner of Chrome, and you can zoom in the view.
Thanks. 3 dots in Chrome, zoom. Is that better?
Perfect.
Oh, girl, because your boy over here was struggling. These eyes, this stigmatism, this stigmatism.
See, all you have to do is tell me. Okay.
I thought it was the left eye. My bad.
I was looking at this screen, not my presentation screen. Sorry about that. Thanks, guys. Okay, so here is a couple. Now, when I zoomed in, I have to find my place again here. Okay, management update, same type of stuff, but like here's the closings year-to-date update, connected calls, who connected. ISA team, how they did, what some of their highlights, some of their wins. What I was really looking for is to pull out, like, we have 20 people on our team, 6 staff members. It's so hard to keep track of everybody's wins and really recognize them. And so I wanted to pull out ways to recognize people easily, what our agent team had been working on, but then also what our admin team had been working on. Some operational updates, those types of things. So this is a management overview, how many leads we have and what stages, what has changed, kind of like an overview of how our stage leads are looking and how our pipeline's looking. An admin team update. So what our admin team is up to, like sometimes, like for instance, we've moved this to like over the weekend. So on a Monday morning, we get a summary of what the admin team was up to over the weekend. So we have VAs and an admin that works on Saturday and Sunday. And that gives our admin team like a great little refresh as to like what that person covered over the weekend. Notes they made in Follow-Up Boss, what went pending, anything like that. Incoming calls by inbox. So talk about a data discovery. All of our agents use Follow-Up Boss numbers, and we found that there was a issue that we had with how many calls are being answered. So we monitor our team inboxes really closely, which is where a lot of our team leads come in. But our individual agent inboxes and how many calls they were missing was a big discovery that Victor made for us. So we were able to plug that hole like the first day that we got that information. Quick view, like Lisa was showing some of this too, where is your business at? We use Follow-Up Boss for all of our deals management. So really easy for Victor to access this data, tell us how many we have in our pipeline. And red flags, like what needs attention. We have a system where our team posts in Slack if they're going to be, or staff posts in Slack if they're going to be out or in late or if they're sick or whatever. So a system to just flag me, hey, we have an area we need to cover in the business, or something's over its close date, or what's to look forward to in the week coming up. And then one other thing that was touched on, I just want to show an example of it. You can ask Victor how many credits you have left. And then I did some work, like Chase was saying, after Chase told us that he saved all the credits that he did, we were like, oh, how do we do it? He's like, just start a conversation. So I did, and Victor came up with this whole plan. Like, if you want to do this reporting, we can use a cron, a Python script instead of a API query each time. And there's also another way that we could do it with AI, and it would be X amount per credits per month. So I basically wanted to keep my Victor account below a certain level and make sure that all that we wanted to do with it could fit inside of that, and then leave some room for special projects. And Victor helped me figure out how to do that. What questions do we have?
Oh, good. So good.
I think it's sick from the standpoint of monitoring the inboxes.
That was cool.
Because we have so many. We have inboxes for signs. We have inboxes for just so many different things, and being able to not only monitor the inbox, monitor the conversations, and are people saying the right things when those calls are coming through, by hooking it up to one of the inboxes pushed through and pulled through Shiloh as well, because then you can extract that information and create it and grade it off of that as, oh man, this is it.
And this was like people not even getting to have the conversation, like missing calls. And, then it's just helped us plug the hole of like, okay, what do we have as a backstop for when that happens? If an agent's in an appointment, great, that's fine. Voicemails work. But if they're only reaching an agent 50% of the time for their questions, that's really frustrating. So how do we get like some redundancy put into that? We had dug into the whole phone thing a few months ago with a data warehouse and an API tool that helped us learn a lot more. But this really kind of took things to the next level of scrutiny and helped us plug a hole. So it was super cool.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that use case. Yeah, a virtual assistant is manually going through a smart list of like last email received and last email sent and last text received and last text sent and last call received and last text sent. And I know it probably drives him bonkers. So that's going to be amazing for him.
Yeah, pretty great opportunities there.
That is super sick.
And then last thing that I think Chase is going to share it a little bit later, but when I first turned it on, I had my staff testing it with me, and they would ask it questions and stuff. And it was like pretty much giving away anything that I had in my API connected to it. So for instance, if an agent on my team was like, hey, can you transfer me this lead? It would do it. And so I developed with Victor a little security profile to have it follow more of like the FUB logic on what user information, what users requesting what information get what information. You could also tell it that it can't communicate with any of your agents in Slack. It's only for admins. There's all kinds of different ways you could go about it. But basically, it helps you to set up the permissions that you're comfortable with to have it either be a team-wide tool or have it be just something that admins are using or just you are using for that matter.
Ruben, can you take that?
I just pasted in the chat the permissions prompt that Shay built. So you can feel free to use that. You could also just chat with it and tell it. But essentially what Shay did, if I'm not mistaken, is if this is for Follow Up Boss kind of as a starting point, but essentially linking if you're on a team, right? Making sure Victor is only allowing things that the user's access level in Follow Up Boss would allow, right? So if you're an admin, you can reassign a lead. If you're an agent, you wouldn't be able to. So
Correct.
that prompt fixes that. But beyond that, again, you can customize that per channel or whatever you want to do that way. But that's a very good starting point. And it should be easy to copy and paste from that link.
It's pretty cool. Thanks for sharing.
Cool. Can I try to share? If it kicked me off, Bug Life, I'll hop back in.
All right, say bye to Jeff, everybody.
All right.
Nope, it kicked him out. So funny.
It froze him.
Yeah, it freezes him and then he hops back in as a double. Yep, there's his double.
Yo.
Now you're twinning.
All right.
Good.
Let me try that again. The second time it typically works.
Yeah.
Might have shared too much. Y'all leave her alone. But hey, don't recruit her. I'm trying to recruit her. So we have a goal of recruiting 100 net agents to Power Real Estate Group this year. And so created a criteria of what we're looking for based off of availability, experience, their tech, what have they done. And then we also have the conversation flow that we've trained our virtual assistant to be able to have. With that, I've been able to, once Shania moves the lead to an appointment set, it automatically creates this. It goes back and listens to the call, it grades it, and it puts everything in an easy display to me. And these are the people that I'm able to interview, and it gives a breakdown, but it also creates a coaching opportunity later on so I get to go in and look at the talk ratio, the filler words that were used, how many questions did Shania ask, the candidate ask, and it breaks it down into, vocal delivery analysis. The recruiter handled the virtual versus physical objections well by clarifying the relationship between Real Brokerage Tech Platform and Power Real Estate Group and what we do. So it was able to get really granular. It allows me to have better conversations with someone who's interviewing to be a part of Power Real Estate Group. So what I want to do, and what I've already learned and seen from here, is piggyback what Lisa was already doing by pulling in information from LinkedIn and possibly connecting it to Corded to gather and piece all of this in here to give me a better, I call it a better cheat sheet when I'm having a conversation with whether someone's a good fit and how can Power Real Estate Group help them. And then from one second. And then from another side, let me share another screen. Window, this one. So this is a breakdown of the agents on the team, stale leads. So we're tracking the big thing is agents will go on open houses and not do anything. Everybody preaches open house. So pull this data, and 95% of this is agent opportunities that they've been able to curate and break down what are possible red flags. So this gets sent over to each one of our teams. We have 3 different teams in 3 different counties. And it breaks down and it goes right to the team lead, and it tells the team leads what is going on with each and every agent. What does that their calls that they made in the last 30 days, last 90 days, where are they at, stale leads, where they're coming. It gives a granular breakdown. But Victor also sends us over as a weekly individual DM to each one of the agents and suggests things, which one of them needs to meet with their team lead to go over and have a one-on-one so we can help solve this. And this gets sent over to our team lead VAs, who are VAs on our team, who help monitor and help move agents and their leads and everything down the funnel. This would have taken forever to be able to get.
What did they do before this?
What did I stress? cry. I knew there was a way, and I knew that AI was going to find a way. But before, I had to have 2 or 3 team leads, VA, virtual assistants, trying to pull data manually, go into follow-up boss, look at the reporting. But this goes so much deeper than that. It measures their activities. It measures everything. And it's easy to, I think the biggest thing is easy to digest the information for me, to see which agents are doing well and which agents, from a dashboard stance, this is a report that gets pulled once a week. And from here, what we're working on is being able to auto schedule these as, hey, you have X amount of problems. Your pause. Let's go ahead and have a conversation with one of your team leads. And based off of the conversations that they've been having in follow-up boss as well, talking about what can we do to move people down the funnel, or what can we do to help you with your scheduling to be able to do the activities that are going to, produce the results that you're looking for. So this gets, I know it's a lot of agents, but it literally breaks our team down into what they need to do and where people are. And it tells an accurate, like the numbers are correct. It's 37 escrows in the Riverside side, got the 81 escrows, and then it goes a little bit further, but which ones are at risk based off of the time that they've been in escrow. So we're measuring how long, we want to know, based off of their contingency. So we're also working right now to hook this up to open to close as well, to be able to have better and more synchronized information given to the to Victor to run this. I need the prompt for this. That's my problem. I'm gonna go find the prompt. I'm good at here's the problem, but then there's Ruben and Charity and David. But I'm gonna get y'all all the prompts for all the things that we're working on. It's just that's my
Cool. So you'll post in the prompt library?
Yes.
Sweet.
Love it.
Wow. Another.
Yeah.
Mic drop moment. All right, I guess it's my turn. It's hard to follow these. I feel like a noob now after seeing these.
You actually converted using yours, so.
Okay, well, here we go. Okay, so even though I use Follow Up Boss for no one has my personal number. When I very first started my business, a couple of people did. And so this first couple of people who have stuck with me since 2021, they still use my number even though I've asked them not to, and they still give other people my number even though I've asked them not to. It's just their own habit. And so whenever I get a voicemail from someone, I used to tag the sales team. I've tried tagging my admin and my VA, and I still had to keep asking them manually to do it because everyone's so busy. And so I was like, oh, let me try Victor. I whisper flowed. I'm sorry that I apologize to Victor later. I misspelled his name. But I said, hi, Victor. Again, none of us are using fancy prompts. So whenever y'all in the chat are asking, what prompt did you use? I'm just telling it, can you do this? I opened up my voicemail in my phone and I clicked share. And then I clicked share to Slack, and then share to Slack DM to Victor. And then in the message, I said, hi, Victor, do you have the ability to assign this lead to the group called Sales in Follow Boss, which is a round robin group, and put this transcript of the voicemail as a note, and task whoever gets assigned the salesperson to call and follow up. Also message them on Slack about the lead, include me in that message, and include the contact information, including name and phone number. Not sure if she gave any of the contact information in the voicemail. So it did it. It added Kimberly to our CRM with the phone number and email, and she signed up with our services. That's why we have her address. She didn't give her address in the voicemail. But you can see here, it created a registration via referral in our CRM. It transcribed the voicemail and added it as a note. Hi, this is Kimberly. I'm coached by Sandra with Tom Ferry, la da da. And then Rebecca from our team called Kimberly the next day, had a 12-minute conversation, and signed her up as a client, which is just incredible. And no one went to Follow Boss and added it. No one had to remind Victor, please do it 3 times before it actually got done. Rebecca was tasked and mentioned in Slack, and I forgot to grab the screenshot, but Rebecca replied to the Slack TM with me and Victor and said, thanks, Victor, I signed her up. And, it's just funny. I forgot to grab that. So I feel like I'm a noob here just following these people. Okay. The next one is, I have a bit more of a complex task for you. So I've been a part of an AI community that all of us have actually been a part of since September of last year. And starting around November of last year, I started using a sales wizard within our Claude, and our sales team started using that sales wizard to generate follow-up recap emails, nurture sequences, and whatnot. And I wanted to know, was that actually worth my investment of not only money, but also time to create? And is it worth my sales team's time to continue using this sales wizard? And I was like, how in the world am I going to figure that out? And I was like, oh, let me see if Victor can. So I said, again, no fancy prompt. I need your help figuring out which prospects they used the wizard for. Which prospects did they email after a call because they didn't sign up on the call? If they did sign up on the call, then there would have been a note posted that they signed up. For the people that they emailed, I want to know if the person responded and if they eventually became a client. I essentially want a report of everyone they ended up emailing after the appointment to find out if they turned into a client and what that percentage rate is. I want the percentage rate of reply and percentage rate of clients. So I got a nice little simple response here, like total prospects emailed via the wizard, 153 people. Total response rate, 74.5%, became client, 38.6%. And then it broke it down by sales rep. And then I later asked it, I forgot to include screenshots. I asked it to compare. I was like, okay, let me think. I also want to know, like, how did we used to do with the manual version of relying on them to use a template and remembering what they talked about and remembering and them trying to close the deal afterward. So I said, okay, take a look at November through March, which is what you just did, and compare it to November versus March of 2024 to 2025, because I wanted to compare seasons versus just like we had a hotter like fall is a harder month or season than winter is for us. So it did that, and it created this Excel sheet here of like wizard versus manual. And it said, here's the change. Response rate went up 40. I don't know what points means, but it said it went up. So basically, response rate went from 26% to 74%. Holy crap. And conversion rate went from 20% to 38%. So I was like, that's all I need. That's all I need to tell me that what we're doing with AI and the time and money investment is worth it. And I didn't look at the other stuff. That was all I needed. Let's go back here. And interrupt me anytime, otherwise I'm going to keep going. Okay. Then I was like, okay, I wanted to know how good our appointment setter was doing. So I asked it again, no fancy prompt. Look at our Tomas's outbound call performance for January 1st to today. I wanted to know like how many outbound calls have been made, the results of the conversation, and number of appointments booked. There is no easy way to pull this from the CRM. You literally have to look at all the transcripts manually and look at like how the calls went and look at the appointments booked, because again, he's booking appointments for someone else. So unless he's tagging or using a custom field, but even then that's not 100% reliable. I said I wanted conversion rate numbers, booking rate, and overall conversation rate, sorry, and then overall conversion, and I want a simple table. So it gave me that report, and then I wanted to see what the pattern was, because it said in January the booked rate for appointments was 20%. February was 2%, and then March was 8%. So then I was scratching my head going, why is it so all over the place? Why was January like a decent month and then February dropped to 2% and then March was 8%? So I said, okay, pull the transcripts and try to find patterns, basically. And then pull transcripts of ones that he successfully booked appointments for. I want to figure out, is there a pattern or is this random? Like, are your numbers wrong? And it did, and it pulled an analysis. Let's see. Counting down, open this. Yes. And it did, and it made this nice, pretty report here of this, and it found the 5 top conversion breakdowns. And this is something that Justin Benson was saying during his session at the lab, that the biggest mistake that agents make, or really just anyone in a sales position makes, is not booking the appointment on the call. So number one biggest pattern that was identified is he confirmed someone's interest, but then said, I'll send you a calendar link to book. He did not book the appointment on the call. Number 2 pattern is the prospects was like, maybe later. And so he said, okay, I'll reconnect later. And then like permission seeking language. He objected and handled well, but didn't pivot to the next step to schedule an appointment. Or information overload. The call was long. He was sharing a lot of information, answering a lot of questions really well, but then didn't book a call. So I took all this information, and then it was giving like some examples of what he could say. And I was like, okay, now I know the problem. I need to create a solution. So I created the solution with my sales wizard and in Claude. And I created this doc in Notion and sent it over to Tomas. And I framed it like, you're doing an awesome job. I worked with Victor. It found some patterns to help you kill it more with setting appointments. And it created this SOP for you to set appointments more consistently. And so basically he's a very detail-oriented person, and he can get hung up on details of trying to find out exactly what type of inquiry the person was, who exactly they are before he picks up the phone and calls them. And so I gave him opening question ideas, but they all are very similar open question ideas. And then just a few minutes ago, which I didn't even have time to grab a screenshot of this, well, Tomas shared, because we have a weekly wins in Slack. I need to unshare and share Slack. Windows, Slack. We have a weekly win. I said, share your weekly wins. Where is it? I'd love to hear your wins. Oh, this, I'm breaking all my personal records of calls made, leads contacted, appointments set. And I think congrats on the records made. Out of curiosity, what do you think led to those new records? He said, a shift from focus. I'm calling through smart lists more frequently. Also focusing on getting them on the calendar, because he's using that SOP we created. All the different scripting, plus he's been doing training sessions, and I'm probably forgetting something else, but very happy with the results. So it's all been awesome and worth it to be working with Victor, Claude, Sales Wizard, everything. It's been so incredible to see the transformation happening and not just saying, woo, AI, it's like I'm actually seeing tangible results. It's really cool. So I think those were all my shares, but I'll double check while
that is awesome.
Y'all take over.
All right, my turn, I suppose. So I'm going to pivot away from the accountability angle and share a couple of the ones that I think would be useful that are not accountability related. So the first one I did, I'll share my screen real fast, is I ran a tech audit on Real Scout. I wanted to see what percentage of our closed transactions actually engage with the tools that we're using and investing in. And this was really cool. So I literally, in two things I want to get in front of on overall setup. So there are a million API connections, Follow Boss and Slack and Notion, all those that have that kind of internal connection. But every other tool that doesn't, you can just provide a login, email and password, and it can log in manually for connections that aren't integrated. So Real Scout was one of those for me. Shiloh is one of them. So real quick, I'll go quickly through these. It found that 75% of our last 2 years closed transactions engage with the Real Scout platform, property view, home value, etc., and only 25% didn't. That's pretty freaking high, in my opinion. And then I had an audit previous to Real Scout. We're using a different tool. I'm not going to mention it, but found that Real Scout has given us a 40% increase in the engagement of actual closed transactions versus just, hey, who in my system is using it? It's, hey, your actual closings from these 2 years and these 2 years, we had a 40% boost in engagement with Real Scout versus another one. So that's a great way to audit your actual tech that you're using to make sure it's actually working for you and you're getting that ever important ROI. Another one that I think is really powerful. So I built out a pre-appointment briefing through Victor, that it's scanning Follow Up Boss every morning and checking for appointments for any agent on my team for the rest of the day, and then providing a appointment briefing in the morning before the appointment starts. So, hey, you get an appointment with so-and-so today. Here's a link to Follow Up Boss, property address. They came into your system here through a source, kind of the basics, key history, right? Kind of distilling down the key points of your conversation so far. Read the room. It's an estate situation. Husband passed. Lead with empathy, not energy. She engaged because she trusted your expertise on the evaluation. She's methodical, not impulsive. She's been dealing with estate logistics. She's navigating a lot. Be patient, et cetera, et cetera. Don't forget. Make sure she followed up with the plumber that you gave to her, et cetera. So imagine giving this to all of your agents for every appointment they're going on, right? That's a complete power up, in my opinion. And you can log it for certain appointment types if you want to, but for me, it's everybody, every appointment, listing, showing, whatever it is. And then the other one I will share wherever it is, the Shiloh thing. So there's no integrated sync just yet, but it's logging in manually. And now it is taking what I had my VA do manually. And now it's automating this every Tuesday at 10 in the morning. Team average, a team-wide call rating, how many calls were analyzed, inbound, outbound, who's doing the best, who's role playing, how about the next steps, which are ever so important per Benson's discussion at the lab and also Unlock and all his recent speaking engagements. And then breaking it down, because I've got a small team here, but breaking it down by agent, right? Top 3, bottom 3, all pulling manually from Shiloh, even though there's no integrated connection. So really, really powerful. Those were the 2 quick ones or 3 quick ones I wanted to share really briefly from an actual day-to-day perspective. And the last one, I guess, real quick, is my own personal daily briefing. So when I log in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, hey, here's your calendar, here's your priority follow-ups, here are your closing tasks that are either overdue or due, any new seller-specific leads, right? Active deals, etc. So again, just a briefing in the morning when I log in the first time. It's a real quick look at my calendar, my tasks, what I'm behind on, and urgent opportunities that are in front of me. And again, these were all done in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, right? So that's a lot. I'm going to stop there for a quick second and catch up on any questions before we actually start to share how to do this. Any questions on what Jeff or Elena or I had just shared on these sorts of tasks? And these are all, by the way, you're asking for prompting. These are all plain English. Hey, I want to get
Whisper flow.
Hey, exactly. I want to get a briefing. My VA gives me this every morning. I want you to take it over. Here's my calendar. Here's my follow-up boss, and build it for me. That literally was it. So don't overthink it. And when you log in and after 10 minutes of tinkering with it, you're going to understand how simple it is. I know it sounds one way when we're talking about it, but when you log in and get it and integrate it, you're going to be like, oh my God, this is this is ridiculous. So let's talk about, and we'll monitor the chat here. Let's talk a little bit about setting it up and a few hacks to make sure that your credits can go as far as you are able to take them. Obviously, we want to watch our spend here. So the link is pinned to the top. I'm going to spotlight this if I can. So there's your link. That will give you $100 worth, or I believe it's 50,000 credits. It sounds like a lot. It lasted me 3 days. It lasted Jeff 1. But again, we were freaking peppering this thing, right?
Yeah, we didn't have Elena, Chase, Shay, and Lisa. They told me to go do it, and I was just like, oh, it did one thing, and then it did another, and then it did another, and then it was 4 o'clock in the morning.
It only lasted me 3 days. So
yeah. So, but everybody have fun, turn up.
All right. So here's what you're gonna do. Okay. When you go on that link, it's gonna look something like this. I'm not sure what that landing page looks like. Get started. Oops, what happened? There we go. Get started. All you're going to have to do, and yes, you have to be using Slack to make Victor work, okay? Again, if you don't use Slack currently, you can get a free account. I mean, I run a small team, and we're on a free account still, too, with 10 seats. So Slack can be the free portion of this, right? From there, you're going to want to, it's going to integrate with Slack automatically, right? You're going to have to approve the connection. I can't do that now because I've already done it. Heidi, if you're on your phone, oh, you got it. Perfect. Okay. Then I would recommend, again, start with a single thing, right? For most people on this call, that single thing might be Follow Up Boss, right? Or kind of, figure out where you want to start with this. And, I would not go and blow up every system and bring them all in at the same time. You're going to get overwhelmed. So pick the one. You can search here. Follow Up Boss shows up here because it's already connected automatically. But that's pretty much it. You're going to, during that setup, and again, I don't have the screen share because I've already done it. You're going to want to authorize, to what Shay mentioned earlier, what channels do you want Victor to have access to read or engage with? So Victor is going to live inside Slack as a direct message to you as the owner, and also as inside of whatever channels you give him access to. He cannot read private channels. So if you have a private channel and you want him to read it, you got to change that to public and then work on the permissions inside Slack. I did that for a couple of mine that I had to for my VAs. Couple things on usage and credits. The couple things I've learned and I would recommend you do is go right into settings, right into here to default model. I would change this immediately from smartest, which is going to default to this to use all the credits up, right? Fair on them. Go right to balanced, okay? Couple things I did was I had Victor audit itself. I said, hey, I'm using too many credits. I want to make sure I can get all these credits down to X amount per month or per day, whatever. And it gave me a few things to do. The first one was go to balanced. You can try the even lower ones, but I think balanced is a pretty good use case. It's the second tier of the Claude model, which it's using. And then once you start building out these scheduled tasks or kind of repeatable tasks, if you will, give it a week or a couple days of it running, and then tell it to revise the prompt or suggest model changes on the individual tasks to lower the credit usage too. Like I had a task that was running and it was pulling my notes from my Plod recorder and Granola AI recorder on my computer, putting them all in a Notion for me. That's not a reasoning. There's no thought involved. It's literally pull this, paste it here. So that one task is running on the lowest model because it's literally just pulling information from A to B. Does that make sense? Jeff, take off.
Yeah, he said he waved by. I also put it in the chat. Once you download it, if you don't say this that I just put in the chat within 5 to 10 minutes, if you're already using Slack and you have team members here, it's going to do what Shay said. It's going to start introducing itself to everybody. So I just put that in there. Like, only talk to me. Don't introduce yourself. Also, don't scrub anybody's activity or history. It's going to waste credits on that. So also send that to it immediately via DM.
Yep. And then what I'm going to show, if anyone has an idea, by the way, someone throw in the chat, Ruben, or anybody, give me something that you have an idea of what you want to build, and I'll show you how to do it. That way you can kind of actually see it in practice versus kind of have to start from ground zero to build something out. I'm going to guess Ruben will be the first one to respond. I'll show you.
Ones earlier, but let me scroll back up.
Well, something relevant to a 4-person team too.
Oh, right. Yeah. His were a little bit absurd. So I also was like, nah.
All right, let's see. Ruben and Trisha, here we go. Who's got something good for me? So again, as they're typing, you can see on my screen here, I've got the Viktor I started. So it'll end up down in this app section, but I move Viktor up to my start because it's I've got messages all day long, every day now here. So this is where it's going to live for your one-to-one communications. In any of the threads or channels you have it in, like in my all hands channel, I can talk to it here too, but I have to @mention it to get it to respond. Okay, well, let's see about that. Trisha, please audit my FUB leads for the seller inquiries for home buying class in the last 30 days. Each of them with their activity. Okay, so I'm just going to put a version of what Trisha mentioned into here. It's going to react to the message with this little icon saying, hey, I'm thinking about it. I believe the second one is sometimes we get the little eyeballs saying, got it, or I see you kind of thing. Get this. Now this might take 3 minutes because it's actually doing something that's intensive to go pull. Oh, my screen's really small. Sorry, hang on. Is that better?
It's the text is what's small is what's hard to see.
Oh, it's Slack. It's Slack. I'm sorry, guys. How about? Oh, there we go. There we go.
Getting there.
I'm on a monster screen here, so that's probably why it was so small.
Yeah,
sorry.
And I think if you I don't know if you can hide the sidebar, and that'll make it even better. Like the yeah.
That better?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Haven't checked on people are actually using Real Shout with leads that are marked as closed and FUB by Scrubbit. Ruben, we already did that, unless I'm misunderstanding. So give us a second here. While this is running, I'll give you another one that I did that I love. So we run a content plan every single week on a certain topic, and you may have seen one of my webinars about this, but one topic turns into like 3 emails and 3 texts and 3 videos, a podcast, a whole bunch of stuff off of one single topic. And before, what I was doing is I was kind of having my VA go, hey, look at what consumers are talking about and find something relevant. It was always the same stuff. Interest rates, Zillow previews, the new one that's now kind of all over the news. And it's the same stuff, getting ready for the spring. And we post a lot of that stuff already. So now what it's doing is let me find, there we go. Okay, so blog scanner at 9 a.m. So if you remember 5 minutes ago, I mentioned I'm having it put my granola notes and my plod notes into one Notion doc of my actual transcripts of meetings, appointments, mastermind calls, stuff like this, etc. So now what it's doing is it's reading all of my transcripts and meeting notes from the last 7 days. It's cross-referencing it against the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 actual published blog topics, and then giving me a couple of ideas from my meeting notes that are not repetitive to what I've already posted. And so here they are.
So cool. Well, okay, I have a question for you since you have a team, which this might just be like content overload, but would it be possible to do this and like scrub all of your agents who are having conversations if they're using Plot and Granola?
I could. Yes, I could. 2, they're not. So
yeah, yeah, I figure they're not using this stuff.
I mean, furthermore, you could have it go as far as, hey, go and pull my actual phone calls from Follow Up Boss and look for repeatable questions and objections we're getting. Certainly, that would be another great use case. I wonder about the credits on that. But so anyways, here we go. So, and these were, there's a lot of Zillow talk last week. So changing the rules in April 1st for Zillow preview. Private listings are trending. Are they actually good for sellers? And how Zillow tracks when you're ready to sell and what it means for you. I combined these two and then got the blog scheduled to run on Monday. And that was from this exact Viktor prompt. Okay, now let's see if we got it. Pulling your FUB leads, searching for seller inquiries and home value requests last 30 days. I'll compile the full activity report and send it back shortly. Okay, this will take another few minutes because again, this was a pretty intensive poll. Does what I'm sharing make sense? I want to kind of pause here for questions because we just went from the magic show into like highly tactical stuff really quick.
And while we wait, because I have a selfish question, can you technically have Viktor connected to Claude to take that list of blogs and have Claude draft blog drafts from that list?
So I assume so. I haven't done that.
Yeah.
I had, so you can see here in this actual thread. So I said, I want to include something about our brokerage system and pros and cons. Here's a few more notes about that topic. Now I want you to give me the synopsis. And then you can, then I put this right into my VA and I said, hey, go run this on our Claude blog machine that we have. I suppose I could save that step entirely. I have not done that yet, though. That's a great use case.
I'm working with Viktor right now, just as another idea, because Shay mentioned earlier that it's really hard to recognize people for all their wins. I'm working on it right now, so it's not, just live and in progress. But I'm always wanting to be mindful of credits. But I just said I want to share and celebrate team members from the week, whether it's closings from the sales team, good conversations they had, a happy client, but I don't want to burn through credits. So at first it was just already looking at the wins thread and it was just pulling from there. And so I said, no, I don't want to do that. Those are just things people literally said 30 minutes ago. So it pulled some initial wins. And this is just a private conversation I'm having with it. This isn't a public conversation. Is saying Tomas closed this deal, Angie closed this deal. These salespeople have built a strong pipeline. And so I'm about to ask what about other team members who are client success managers? Because Atlanta shared that a client of theirs was really happy working with her. So now I'm going to ask it to find other clients who have said really good things and was happy working with her and appreciative. So now I'm going to ask it to look for those types of examples so that I can post those types of wins in the weekly recap in the general Slack channel.
Nice. Okay, my thing is in the process of finishing. So let me go back to this. Here we go. So not all the way done yet, but it says done. Found 17 seller home buyer leads in the last 30 days. Full breakdown is in the thread. And in the next minute, it'll be posted here. But that's essentially the concept there. Heidi, I think Elena answered your question. If I added my admin to Slack, does it include her in what we're doing if I haven't prompted her? Yeah, if it's a public thread, then it will, for sure. I think that's what Elena said. Yeah, that's exactly what you said. Any other questions on this? Is this exciting to anybody? I'd love to hear, again, who's gonna take this and kind of run with it. In the meantime, here is our report. Please don't steal my leads. This is not blurred. So Abel, Street Text, Ontario, phone number, email, tag seller. He's not been on the website or Real Scott yet. He just came in today. Good condition, no sell to give in. You set and won March 17th. Got a home address, but no email and phone number. Therefore, he can't do anything because there's no email or phone. Same with Alina, Los Angeles, no email or phone. Ken, okay, home address, etc. Selling timeline 12 plus months. Jeff, home light 12 plus months. Sandra Velasquez, follow-up text sent March 21st. Have you logged into Real Estate yet? Home valuation data is in there. Pico Rivera. So there you go. This was Trisha's idea. So there's my audit, and this can become a scheduled audit once a week, once a month. You can then from here say, hey, this is too much information. All I want to know is X, Y, and Z. And you can, again, of course, customize what it's giving you. Timothy came in right away. He's contact accept. He's looking at properties almost every single day. So that might be something to skirt around. Marvin and Cynthia, no phone or email. They're in Cyprus. He visited the home value page, but only gave me a partial form fill. Another one here, property view, home valuation view. Asmundo is a good one, it looks like. Stephen Lane, Cyprus, again, March 2nd. So there you go. There is the audit. Notable highlights, Timothy Atkinson, Raphael, 3 partials, 2 home light leads, 2 bounced emails, and a street text address only lead as well. Or 1, 2, 3. So there is the quick at a glance audit that Victor did in 7 minutes.
Okay, what if you I'm just throwing an idea. We don't have to do it live on the call, but what if you say, I've got 30 minutes. I'm going to be traveling to name a city. Before an appointment, I want to do some pop buys. Who should I stop by? And it could either be in that list or just looking at all of your, I know looking at your entire CRM would be just a ridiculous amount of credits, but basically creating you like a pop-by list on demand.
I probably want to give it the address here, right? And then expand it beyond this list only because it's only got a handful of addresses from the seller leads. A lot of partials came in. This might be quicker. It should be quicker. Some of the stuff is pretty quick. Again, it just depends on how intensive the poll is, right? Auditing that Real Scout usage thing, that took 15 minutes, something like that, because it's a lot of information it's going to find.
Yeah. Here, while we're waiting for yours, I was like, please don't use too many credits. So hopefully it didn't. I'm on the balanced, like Chase said, but happy client. By the way, if I haven't mentioned it, you're awesome. Thanks for fielding all my questions at all times of the day. I try not to be a pain. Completed a call, was prepared and great. Cleaned up both accounts. See, I think that was the biggest win. Tomas collab with Tracy, figured out some stuff with the prospect before purchase to make sure that we were a right fit. So some quick and easy wins to share with the team that I'll grab from this. So I might start to run this once a week.
Love it. Okay, this will give me 2 minutes. I'm going to give it 1 more minute before we wrap, unless I'm forgetting anything. I want to make sure we're not forgetting anything we talked about going over to.
Oh, yeah. Let me share screen here. So if you missed the beginning or if you forgot, in the main house, we have this REC prompt library. I'm going to be posting, I already posted the permissions prompt here in case you need it in the future. I'm going to be posting the existing use cases I shared here in this library, and the other folks will too. Feel free to post your ideas. Please share your ideas here of your Victor use cases. This is evolving beyond just being a prompt library. This is evolving to Victor and beyond. So we'll have to figure out what to name this AI world. I don't know.
Well, and also I want to highlight that prompt builder, Elena, because that might be the single most powerful piece as it stands right now in the entire community. And that was built by Brian Hurley. Shout out to him, wizard on this stuff. That will take any concept you have for any task on any AI model that you're using. We're all using something, Claude, Chat, Gemini, Perplexity, Grok, whatever it is. And that will take your concept of what you want to do and turn it into a world-class prompt that's going to get you a 100x better outcome. That alone is game-changing. On top of the proven prompts that are below this, the ones down there, the money time shift came from Andrew's session 2.5, 3 weeks ago. The bottom two came directly from Callan Faulkner, or a variation of that, to build the relocation builder. And shout out to Sunny, who was on that session on the relocation builder and already booked an appointment from that prompt output. So the stuff in here is gold if you use it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would strongly encourage you to play with that. But Elena, keep going.
Yeah, so I just posted a link in the chat directly to the prompt library. If you are not a pro member yet, you can use the code WELCOME to get access. And also, while I have you all here, our next session is next week on Tuesday with Lisa, carrying the theme of AI. She's going to be sharing, and I'll post the link in the chat, to RSP if you're not already, what tools she uses to save a ton of time to do her bookkeeping. I know it's like a drag for any business owner to think about bookkeeping and taxes, but it has to be done. And she used to spend 25 to 35 hours a month doing bookkeeping, and now she just spends minutes, and she'll do live walkthroughs of the tools that she uses. So I just posted a link in the chat to RSP to that one.
All right. I'm not going to share my screen here because now this gave me a perfect route, but it's got addresses and phone numbers.
Oh.
But it literally came out and said, here's your pop-by route for Anaheim, 3 stops, 25 minutes, all 3-star leads with contact information clustered in Cypress, La Palma, to Anaheim, which is, if you don't know the area, it's kind of on the way. Stop number 1, Stephen, address, phone number, email, came in through blank, or came in through whatever the source was. Note to leave. Hi, Steve. I was in the neighborhood and wanted to personally drop this off. I saw you checked out the home value tool recently, and homes in Cypress are moving incredibly fast right now. I'd love to give you a proper CMA with no obligation, just real numbers. Give me a call anytime. Step number 2, in La Palma, same intro, except the note changed to, hi, Jeff. I know you're thinking about selling down the road and wanted to personally introduce myself. The La Palma market is strong right now. And the prep we do 6 to 12 months out often makes a $20,000 to $30,000 difference at the end. Love to chat at your convenience. Final one, in Garden Grove. Note to leave. Hi, Ken. Just wanted to stop and introduce myself. Home Light matched us up because you're thinking about selling. I specialize in the area and love helping sellers plan early so they can maximize their price. Call or text anytime. And then it gave me a single link to a Google route map, house to house to house to house. Yeah, if I know if chest cold here, but perfect.
That's awesome.
So Elena, that shout out to you for that idea, because that would have gone right over my head. So that's great. I hope you guys like this, because this stuff is going to change the game. And this sort of AI stuff is still ground floor. AI in general is not anymore. We're on floor 2 of probably 100. But this stuff, this is the easiest way to leverage the agentic AI, which was a hot button, I don't know, a few months ago, and no one knew how to do it unless you were super, super advanced. But this has been a complete power up, and it's been very simple to implement. And I mean, we share between the actual build we just did on top of the magic show stuff. I mean, you've got 15 different ideas for every team size, solo, big team, small team, and everything in between, on top of whatever else you can come up with too. So I hope you guys are fired up about it, because I sure am.
I sure am. Tina's typing. Super helpful. Thank you guys for sharing. Awesome.
Appreciate you being here. And yeah, like Elena mentioned, and I know there's a chat question earlier, this will be in the replay library. Make sure you use that code to get your first month for free. And hopefully you find enough value, as you should, to stick around, because these sessions are what we're going to be doing more and more of. Live builds, especially. And that relocation build session is in the replay library too. So if you want to check that one out, I would certainly give that a go, because that was a really powerful deep dive too.
How soon are recordings available? I don't know.
That's the best part about this platform, is it'll be published. Honestly, it might be in 10 minutes, but I'd say by 2 o'clock, within the hour. Very, very fast.
Yeah, sweet. Well, hope to see you again.
Ken just hooking us up. Appreciate you. All right, guys. Have a great day. Hope this was helpful. Hope you guys are excited. and let us know how it goes. Make sure you share your results either in the replay thread or in the Ask and Share. I'd love to see what you're building, what ideas you guys come up with, because the whole concept of the community is, again, ask and share so we can all grow together and learn from each other. Because like I said, Elena's idea just now, I wouldn't have thought of. And I'm glad that she was here for that.
Oh, what? Yeah, I want to plug into a hive mind.
Yes. So, yep, make sure you share what's working, share where you're struggling, and let us help you with that too.
Take care, everybody. Have a good weekend.
All right, guys.